Hey everybody, I'm Riversmccown. This is Barkley, Shut Up and Jam Gaiden. Perhaps the most serious game ever made. Um, my co-commentator for this run, Laz Laserlong, has run this game at a GDQ before. So Laz, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. So real quick, for those who are wondering, you might have heard of this game at some point. It's pretty much a very, very well-known meme game that was released back in 2008 by the developers called Chaos Games. It was made by a group of guys who thought, hey, we like Barkley, Shut Up and Jam, but what if we added the title Gaiden to it? That was kind of the whole premise of this game. They just wanted to add Gaiden to it. That's really the whole why they made it. Needless to say, this game is wacky. It's different, and it's something.
All right, well I'm gonna count us in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so start of the game. I'll be on a little delay, but I'll try to give commentary. So when you start the game with Barkley, you start out in just New York. The whole premise of this place is he got hit with the atomic or the Chaos Dunk. Chaos Dunk is a move that Barkley had done by accident when playing in a legendary basketball game, and he had leveled all of New York, hence why it's called New York. The idea is Barkley's trying to live with his son, Hoops, and you're just trying to scrap by, trying to get through these crazy times where basketball's banned. As you may notice, Michael Jordan is the inspector who makes sure basketball is never performed again. It's outlawed, it's banned. And right now, Rivers is going through a quick time event. These things do pop up from time to time, and they're pretty simple to do. He did pick up some items along the way in the shop at the Chin store. Mainly, he gets a couple free items, and now he's going to progress to B-Ball Catacombs. Now, B-Ball Catacombs... Is it low? Okay, hold on.
Your audio is very low. Rivers, can you turn them up a little bit, please?
Is it low? Okay, hold on. Alright, hopefully that should work now. Let me know if the audio is any better, guys.
Sorry, I just was trying to play.
No, you're good.
Really?
Let me know if the audio is any better, guys.
It needs to come up a lot more. You're very quiet.
Really? Okay.
Michael Jordan, by the here way, we're is talking evil. to LeBron James because that's the thing that happens in this game. Michael Jordan, by the way, is evil, and Hakeem has always been better. Always will be better. A lot of this game, mechanic-wise, is about getting Ice Zobbers off early. Ice Zobber is the most powerful attack that we have, and you'll see that we kind of route around that way to get it. By the way, we're fighting a gigantic basketball monster right now, so that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, just a bit slow. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better. If not, just let me know.
There we go. Pretty good fight.
That was pretty good.
A lot of the speedrun is kind of about holding Z, which is the text skip button, as well as the cutscene skip. So it's actually a really fast run, all things considered.
That was a really good B-ball monster, by the way.
Yeah, that went extremely well.
Yeah, B-ball monster can actually kill you if you're unlucky with getting really bad RNG. He can take his turn, he can do his spin attack, which is devastating. Assuming my audio is a bit better, this is Vince Carter. He came back from the future to make sure things are going in place. It's kind of a Terminator reference, clearly, but you'll see as we go on. Rivers dodged all these guys perfectly, using sprint burst appropriately, and just walking past them stealthily. Now we're in a sewer with a bunch of people who have pretty much replaced their skin or their bodies with Hanna-Barbera characters, or aka they're people who want to be themselves, like furries. That's the best way to describe it. He's doing a lot of safety saves here, and he's getting ready for a really interesting fight that could be really bad or not.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of equipment shuffling that you probably wouldn't do if it wasn't a marathon, but mainly just to get more money, because the next couple of bosses can really, really troll you. This is going to be actually a super fun boss anthem here. If you haven't seen this before, this is an amazing anthem.
So relatively quickly, you find out Vince Carter betrays you because he's been tasked to kill Barkley. Well, been tasked to kill Hoops for a specific reason. But so then this turns into a 2v3. This fight can actually be incredibly dangerous if you get really bad RNG from Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan can do an insta-kill move on one of your weaker characters, except Cyberdoor, who's the small little basketball. Vince Carter, he's not big of a threat, he just wastes your time. He can do mine attacks or split lasers, which can apply to brain damage. So if you have like Cyberdoor get hit with these lasers, you lose a lot of health really quickly. So he takes out Michael Jordan relatively fast. It's nice. Now all he has to do is just bring down Sport, which can be really trying, because in the actual speedrun, what you want to do here is kill him as fast as humanly possible. And the best characters to do that are always going to be Valkyrios. Valkyrios' Ice Saber, which is the move that Rivers is using a lot here. It does the most damage in the early game. Whether you give items to any of the characters or not, doesn't really matter. Ice Saber is just really good. Fortunately, Vincent is wasting his time by healing. That's the worst thing that can happen. If he heals, you lose a lot of time. But of course, this is an old weapon run, so he's got all the time to work with. And so pretty much he's just using what he's got to take him down. Usually with Barkley, what Rivers is doing, he's doing the right thing by doing free throw, which does a lot of damage, and then with Cyberdoor, he's doing a very specific beatdown combo, which gets a lot of damage out really quickly.
This is really unfortunate. We've had 2 recharges already.
Yeah, this is why this fight really is annoying. If this was going to be a world record run, you would have to reset already. This boss isn't hard, but it can be dangerous for a while. This is really bad RNG. This is the worst case scenario that can happen. This boss can recharge. He has a very short move list as well, so the amount of times he can recharge is very, like, it can happen very frequently.
Alright, that wasn't so bad. It could have been a lot worse. Nobody died, at least.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't do any split lasers. That could have been, like, the nightmare.
Alright, we gotta save again.
You'll be noticing...
In.
Yeah, as you may notice, Rivers is saving a lot here for a good reason. He's running the hardest category of this game. 100% would have been a really safer option, and you would have seen a lot more. But for the sake of time, obviously 80% is faster. But the caveat to that is 80% is very, very dangerous, because there's a lot of bosses. Well, you fight less bosses at 80%. There's one boss in particular he's coming up to now that is the run ender. He will maybe die here if he gets bad RNG. There's not much he can do about it besides just hoping for the best and playing around it accordingly. Even if something bad does happen, he can still work around it. But alright. So at this part in the sewers, he's just moving around. He has to talk to he has to talk to the guards here, or go through these areas to trigger a little event where the group talks and they say, what's our plan next? Because if he doesn't do this, he won't be able to progress. He's going to pick up some B-ball tiers. B-ball tiers act as mana. Mana, which is the B-ball basketball energy you need to perform these slamming moves. You may notice a lot of sprites that are cut from other games, by the way. This is like a lot of Chrono Trigger sprites you're seeing. You'll see custom-made sprites as well, where the developers... The reason the developers took a lot of sprites is they said they were kind of lazy, but at the same time, they wanted to put their own sprites in that were just, like, out of this world. And I think that was mainly up to their artists. I think it was either GT or Laz, who's another programmer and artist for this game.
All right, here comes the tough battle. Oh, first turn goad. Oh, thank goodness.
I see. I won't be able to see this, but I'm excited. I'm hoping that's a good start if he's got goad.
It's the only move the body armor does that isn't really gonna hurt you a lot.
Yeah, it's more of a taunt than anything. His most devastating attack is combination. This boss is the hardest boss in the game, hands down. He's not super strong in health, but his attacks are devastating, so we'll see what happens. If you get past this boss, generally you're almost in the safe spot in a run, but he can't hurt. Payback, he takes all the damage you dealt to him back to anyone. Ideally in this fight, you want Barkley or Cyberdwarf to take all the damage. You want Hoops or Balthios to stay alive. Okay. Couple of misses. I'm excited. I'm hoping for the best. This is good though. The damage he's dealt is really good. He hasn't used. Oh, Headbuster on Balthios is bad, but that's fine. It's better than combination. This looks like it's going to be pretty good because he hasn't used combination yet. He's pretty weak.
Yeah, you can now see what combination does. Whew. You see?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
But we made it through.
Who do you use or not? I gotta wonder.
It was the dwarf.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah. But you can see, it gets rid of it causes so many status effect problems, lowers their stats. It's just brutal.
Yeah, you could ideally what you could do is you could res somebody, but it wouldn't really matter because even if you use a res item like a Phoenix Down to bring him up, which is the what's the equivalent of Phoenix Down in this game?
Oh, I gotta sell something real quick because I actually bought too much.
Oh no.
I can't afford the hotel.
That happens sometimes. If for whatever reason you buy a little too much, your money or your Neo Shekels will be out of whack. That quick time event doesn't matter, by the way. You can fail it or pass it. Doesn't really do anything. He's trying to heal at the hotel, so he's gonna go to the gun guy here and sell whatever his access items are, so he can get the sleep. By sleeping, not only does he will get his health back, but he'll also learn a new move after fighting Ghost Stad, who's coming up here. Because after the Ghost Stad fight, he'll be able to use the hotel for free. But he needs to heal up before the Ghost Stad fight. Little homage to Monster Hunter, by the way, the Monster Quest.
So this is actually a really scary fight as well. This is probably the last scary fight, though.
Yep. Ghost Stad is he's probably one of the more tankier bosses in the game, next to the final boss. He's also incredibly scary. If you've seen the action movie Ghost Stad, well, I'm so sorry. It's really bad. It's an actually bad movie. Alright, so the equivalent, now the thing about Ghost Stad is he's all about applying negative status effects. His damage isn't too massive, but he can apply so many status effects that he can make your entire party useless in terms of damage as well as speed. So you don't want him, the longer you fight this boss, the harder it gets. Ghostly, that's a lot of Ghostly Curse already off the board.
Yeah, we've already got a lot going wrong in this fight.
Now, alternatively, what Rivers could do here is use a cigarette to cure any of his party members, but it really depends on who he needs at the time. In this fight, ideally you want to get Balthios to get all his Ice Sabers out, and you want Hoops to be dealing constant damage. Then Barkley just to be applying double teams whenever he has it, and then Barkley acts as the item boy. So he just keeps pumping Hoops up. Balthios will keep doing damage whenever he can, and then with Cyberdwarf, just punch, and punch. Because the damage here is going to come from Cyberdwarf and Hoops. Balthios won't really stay in the fight too long, because since this is such a long fight, he doesn't really excel. With Hoops, though, his damage is incredible with Gun Assault. Or Gun Fury, excuse me.
Yeah, you're going to see us use a lot of MP Restore on Hoops here, because Hoops is the main weapon.
Yeah, this is really good, despite the fact that he's applying a lot of Ghostly Curse. Thankfully, if he's already applied Ghostly Curse on somebody, it does not stack.
Oh well.
Yeah, sometimes the item management in this game can be a little tricky. It can make a huge difference, or it can just be an absolute pain. You might make a mistake. Because menuing, just like in any Final Fantasy game, the faster you menu, the better it is. But you can make mistakes from time to time. So far, this isn't a bad fight, though. It's a big time waster. That's really all it is.
Yeah, you can tell it's going slow when you get to the end of the. You have to restart the music. All right, Hoops is down, but that's not a problem at this point.
By the way, for those curious about the story here, we're outside of New York. We're in the old New York that was bombed. You'll see characters that have basketball appendages, or their heads with basketballs. That's basketball mutation.
Got him.
Okay. Not bad, not bad. That was good. Okay, so that's two of the big bosses down. Now there is another boss that's coming up ahead that can be scary if RNG plays a role again. But this is a good run. The fact that Rivers was able to get past Bodyguard with no problem and get past Ghost Stad with no issue, it's good. This means this run is not going to really, there is no more run enders except maybe one boss. But that being said, Rivers can play it super safe with some items coming up here called chicken fries. So it's really good.
Yeah, we're going to be picking up the final gun, which doesn't really do a whole lot of damage or boost a lot of speed, but what it does do is sell for 2,500 Neo shekels, and we're going to use that money to buy more chicken fries. Chicken fries is kind of the ultimate safety item in this game. They heal everything. They bring back all your HP, MP, and yeah.
Yeah, stacking up chicken fries can make a huge difference in a run. It's better to have them versus any other item because it saves menuing as well. For more backstory, Tumana Man has a crush on Barkley, and she realizes the mistakes he's made and sees him as a poor soul and tries to mend his wounds, but no one can heal Barkley. He's a lost soul, lost spirit, cursed with the power of the Slam Jam.
If only he'd won a championship, man.
If only. For those who were wondering the canon of this story, it follows the events after Space Jam. It is canon. Everything that happens is canon. The developers have also stated that the LeBron James Space Jam is canon as well, even though that movie has not come out. Alright. Assuming McRivers is in the Spalding factory. The Spalding factory has two switches you have to do, so McRivers has to do some really good juking here. He's gonna save, and then at the end of all this, he'll get some items and he'll fight the boss. This is where the movement mechanic plays into play. You want to use your sprint as fast as you can to avoid enemy mobs, because in this game we don't want to fight any mobs. There's no point in fighting mobs because you're already going to get enough levels in this game naturally from fighting bosses.
Speak of the devil.
It can be really hard. Sometimes the safety strat is just leaving Spalding Factory to avoid the mobs chasing you. You can, in theory, go from room to room even if someone's chasing you, but it's really hard because you have to get the sprint right, and you also have to hope that they don't touch your model, which sometimes can be really silly. Now these fights can waste your time because they all get their turn first, and running isn't like an absolute you will get out. I forget the percentage on running. I think it's like 50%. It might be 25. Either way, you have 4 people who can run out, so usually you get out no matter what. But you can have times where they waste your time. The downside as well is they can apply debuffs or damage, and this will stay on your party, so you'll have to heal up later on, which just slows the overall progression. You'll have some cutscenes play out, and as McRivers moves, he is going to pick up the final gun, which he did not too long ago. Alright, and then he'll be coming up to the next boss here soon, which will be a lot of fun. This boss is really silly. He's also guarding the Hell B-Ball, which is a very powerful basketball that was used. It's a experimental basketball that was used to replicate the Chaos Dunk as a weapon, because they were trying to achieve the ultimate dunk. Okay.
So we're going to use all that money, buy a lot of stuff with it that will make this game a lot safer. And then maybe one day we'll get to save. There we go. All right. So now we're almost at the end of the Spalding factory, heading to CEO Scott Creelman's office.
This boss is what I like to affectionately call him as Scott, or what was the name I used to call him? A Trollman. I think it was what it was called, Scott Trollman. This boss is really annoying. He has a lot of similar moves to Bodyguard. Well, he has a move similar to Vince Carter, or Vince Court. He can heal himself, he has a insta-kill move, and he has a lot of just really low, like low blow, really weak. If he uses cock, he used it. Ooh.
No, it's the glory. The glory just prolongs the fight, unfortunately,
yeah,
but...
Glory's really, really bad. It just wastes your time, and it also, the more time you waste, it's more BP you use. So if you're not properly equipped to deal with it, like with any BP shards, you do have Chicken Fry, which is really good, but you kind of want to save your Chicken Fries for later on, just for safety. But in this fight, it's not a bad idea to use it, because if he does cause a Kami Jam you twice, you're in a dangerous situation.
Look, chat, I don't know why you guys are talking about this like it's not a serious game. This is an incredibly serious game.
The story of this game is it's actually pretty sad and tragic. You kind of realize the implications of what this game's trying to imply with basketball, and how it's actually, you know, it's a journey of a hero trying to, you know, fix his problems, to, you know, redeem himself for the mistakes he made during the championship game by making that one dunk.
Alright, we got past that pretty well. We're going to heal real quick here. Save, just in case. And now we're going to head to Liberty Island, which is definitely a place that exists.
It's an interesting place. The reason we're going to it, if you're wondering why, and why Hoops isn't with us, Hoops was hit with type 2 diabetes. By Michael Jordan.
Yeah, type 2 diabetes is the one they were never able to cure.
Yeah. And so we have to go to Liberty Island to find a cure for his son. We can't lose Hoops, so we need to go to Liberty Island. And there's two ways you can go to Liberty Island. You can go on the Underground Railroad, which is a little nod, obviously, or you can go on the ferry. The ferry gives you a boss fight. The railroad gives you quick time events. Ideally, the one you want to do for speed is the subway. Subway's faster because if you memorize the quick time events, this can be really, really fast. McRivers, thankfully, if he messes this up, there is a bug that can actually soft lock him, which is really dangerous, or he can die, which of course he's been saving, but it can be a huge waste of time. The funny thing about the quick time events is you can take a hit. You can take one hit, and the game lets you move on, but if you take a second hit, you die. If you go on the ferry, alternatively, in the 100% route, you fight a boss as the Dark Drugar. I think it's Drugar. And I'm not going to spoil anything why there's a boss in the ship. If you want to find out yourself, go ahead and play it. But on the subway, you take down all these goons, and you have to find a bomb. So ideally, it's going to always be the last switch. So you want to say no, no, and yes. Yeah, he already got it. So the subway's the Underground Railroad's super easy. The section's like not too bad. Once you're done, you move on, and now you're on Liberty Island. And there's a sequence of quote-unquote puzzles, we'll say. And there's a little mystery going on this island, revolving around sugar and diabetes, as well as a cult. But we'll see as it goes. He is going to pick up some items here and there, and as you may notice, the Statue of Liberty is holding a needle, or an insulin, which is it's pretty funny.
So we're gonna just take this guy's pipe randomly. So that's how we roll.
Yeah, you gotta ask politely, no worries. Just ask him if you can take it.
Not at all. He's been meaning to get rid of it. So you just go here, take this pipe. No big. And
wait, was his name Reginald or was it Ronnie?
Rutherford or Matt?
Oh yeah.
Or...
Yeah. His name's always with an R. It's always something. It's R related. It's a little thing you can notice. He'll change his name. They kind of give you a whole set of moves, like they go back and nod to like the whole RPG system of examine, use, take, and leave. It's a bit funny. It's not too complex to deal with. The puzzle here in the room can easily be solved if you just do a sequence of things. Mainly the bookcase is probably the hardest thing, but once you do some trial and error, it's not that bad.
Yeah, what the developers intend you to do is look at the clock and see that it says 12:32. All right, so I'm gonna duck in here real quick. Check out this guy's corpse. We're gonna get the chaff grenade by doing this. This is not quite as powerful of a weapon for Cyberdwarf, but by picking it up, we can inflict status ailments on bosses, and that's actually kind of more important than the power, as you'll see. Talk to this guy. This Mac guy gives you some money and a glucose meter. And just kind of restock on things just in case.
Yeah, this is usually a good point of the game to get more chicken fry, get B-ball shards or tears. You rarely need echo coolers, but it's never a bad idea to get some. But ideally, chicken fries, you're always your #1 priority item to get.
So this is a room where you can die really easily if you don't know what you're doing. When you run, it increases your chances of a whiteout on the screen, which is death. But thankfully, there's like a pattern that you know if you played this game enough, and yeah, not too bad. And Reginald here is a kind of tough boss if you don't know what you're doing. He knows some spells that kind of hurt. He also has the ability to really nerf anybody he wants with Chromatic Orb.
Yeah, this fight can be relatively annoying. If you get the optimal turn pattern though, every time Reginald attacks, his shield will go down. His shield is a 75% reduction in any damage. For whatever reason though, Ice Saber still does normal damage against his shield. So ideally what you want to do in the turn pattern order is you want Balthius to go first, Barkley to follow up after Reginald has used an attack, and then have Barkley not take any status effects. You could also opt out to have Cyberdwarf apply Chaff, which is also a good alternative. It does normal damage and the debuffs are really good. You can have him punch as well, which is really good, but Chaff is good if he has shield up. Barkley's really amazing with, I believe it was, it's not Holy Jam, or Holy Jam.
Showboat Jam.
Yeah, Showboat, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the easy fight. It's just mainly a time waster. You rarely will die at Reginald.
So the good thing about picking up what we did was we could just use that chicken fry right off the bat, and we're all healed up for this next fight against the Diabeastie, who has an amazing game sprite. I think we should just recognize right now.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Going back to what the devs said, they just made some sprites and they said, yeah, this will work. You can tell they put a lot of love and care in this game.
So we're going to use Ghost Muzzle here on Barkley. That really helps him kind of power up a little bit. At this point in the game, he's kind of underpowered. He'll get way better at the end, but right now he's kind of our weakest character. But with adding that, now we can kind of Showboat Jam and do a lot of damage again.
So the thing about Diabeastie, to keep in mind, he applies diabetes, which is pretty much the poison equivalent to any RPG, which isn't too much of a problem. The thing that makes him scary is he has an insta-kill, like an actual insta-kill. He starts with Deadly Smile, and then he'll attack somebody. You're about to see it on screen here in a second. Actually, you might not, because I think Rivers just killed him in time. Yeah, he did. Never mind. Nice, that was good.
That went really well. Alright, I'm going to go back and save, even though I don't think I need to, just because it's a marathon.
Yep, just to be safe. The next fight isn't dangerous. Well, it can be dangerous because it's an endurance fight. Because Vinceborg, as you saw earlier in the game, or early in the run, is he was recharging a lot. And this version of Vince Ward that you haven't seen yet, which when we're about to fight him, he's going to be super tanky. His stats go up a lot higher, and he can take hits a lot more. His moveset also expands, so he's a little bit stronger. But overall, it's just a really annoying endurance fight, and if you're not properly prepared item-wise in the 80% run, this fight becomes just a slog, and you can lose a lot of time at it.
So this is Yelmerb. You don't know who Yelmerb is, do you?
He was the guy who did the diabetes commercials. He was a promoter against that diabetes. But I was not born to remember this guy. This was a reference I didn't know about. When I first played the game, I'm like, who is this?
Yeah, it's Wilfred Brimley.
Yeah, I had to look him up, and I'm like, oh, okay.
We get the great music back for this fight too, which I'm always pumped about.
Oh yeah, I think this is Blue Dragon. It's the Blue Dragon track. I forget the name.
Yeah, I think it's Blue Dragon.
Yeah. Reminder: this game is free. It's not paid for. You can get on their site for free if you want to play it. It's on tailsofgames.com. Absolutely amazing game. Play it if you haven't already. So Rivers here is just going to do what he does best. He's just going to try to whittle down the boss as fast as he can using the powers he's been given. You might notice he's not using a lot of powers from his characters. That's why, mainly because a lot of the powers that everyone has are either really underwhelming or they don't do anything. Showboat Jam and Double Team are really good. Showboat gives Barkley a buff when he does the attack, and Double Team is just really good to his damage. Chaff Grenade on Saboteur is a good alternative to his combos. Meanwhile, Balthios is mainly you just want to use Ice. Ice is the best one because Ice gives you the most damage. It gives you the most damage for the least amount of BP you're going to use it. Plus, it's shorter animation versus Lightning, so if you're wondering why he's not using Lightning, that's why. Yeah, this is a good fight. He's not recharging and he's barely doing any damage.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, that was a really good fight. That was quick too. He didn't recharge any at all, and he didn't buff himself too much.
Yeah, one of the benefits of using Chaff Grenade is that you can actually inflict some negative stats on these guys, and that really helps the end of this run because these guys are really overpowered at this point, the bosses, and if you can even speed them down or lower their guard just a little bit, it helps a whole lot.
Yeah, they get a little too fat at the end. Thankfully, their damage isn't too much because you have a lot of items. We just got, Wilfred Brimley took all the diabetes out of Hoops and transferred it into himself. The machine he's hooked up to is a giant insulin machine, but after taking Hoops' diabetes, it was too much. He couldn't sustain it anymore.
Yeah,
so
chat, can we get some Fs for pay respects for Wilfred Brimley?
Respects, please. Real quick, that little conversation with Harriet Tubman was a dialogue and past reference to the Chaos Stonk and exactly what happened and why Barkley did what he did. If you want to find out more, definitely play the game, try out yourself. There's a lot of side content we're also missing, but that's mainly because in the 80% run, you don't want to do any of the side content. It's not worth it. Obviously, it's optional, but what you want to do is if you do play this game, explore every nook and cranny, and you'll find some really funny Easter eggs. We'll do something special at the end. Rivers has something planned. I won't say what it is, but you'll love it. Alright, so this next part, Rivers is at the, I'm not even going to pretend to say the name of this temple. I never learned how to say it. The devs just made up words for these places and locales, and they called it canon, however they pronounced it.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the way I always went with was Quick Lane, but you know, it could be whatever.
Yeah. I tried to say it at one point, and they just made fun of me for saying it. I'm like,
that sounds like them.
Yeah. The devs of this game are really, really nice guys. I met them in 2014, and they really, really love the speedrun for this game. They thought it was really silly and wacky that people would actually play this game fast. On a side note, he's doing a minor puzzle, or a minor, I guess it's technically a path puzzle, or just a switch puzzle, the best way to think of it. It's not really that hard though. What you see Rivers doing is he's tapping his space, and by doing that, he's still maintaining speed. It's better to do that than it is to let the bar build up, because if you let the bar build up, you're not getting, you get speed for a short period, but you're not maintaining a constant speed. So why his bar is always out is usually he's trying to save it up, and if he is building it up, he's using it to avoid an enemy very quickly. You don't want to do any fights, as mentioned earlier. All the fights will waste your time unless you take damage, and in this place you really don't want to take damage. You actually do not want to fight. Picks up some chicken fry earlier there. He does heal up by the statue phase, and now everyone is separated doing their own trials. Balthios is going to do a 3-fight section against iconic enemies you might notice. Starting off with Android Officer. This guy is a pretty huge deal. Now you may notice he did use lightning there, and the reason he used lightning is it does a lot of damage really quickly, and he can 2-turn his boss. And he's going to be able to do the same thing of the upcoming boss and the last boss. But ideally, if he loses Balthios here, he will die. Okay, Adept Soldier coming up next.
Tough RNG there.
Yeah, it can be pretty tricky.
Usually he dies right before that, but unfortunately had to take a third turn. Thankfully the first guy didn't do any damage, otherwise we could have died there.
Yeah, the Android officer can do a really annoying attack called Shock Buster, I believe it's what it's called, and it can actually take your health down by a lot. Rivers is gonna have to, he'll heal up here and get some BP for the last guy, which will be really, really simple. Because the last guy is not too bad, but just for safety, because you don't want to die in this guy. And of course, so you can't forget Greek Warrior. As you can tell, the artwork that went into these sprites are pretty impressive. It's not like as if they were ripped off from somewhere. The attacks themselves are amazing. Like I can't hear anything because I have my stream muted, but the audio is just perfection.
Yes, the Greek warrior in particular, I think just yells at some of them.
He does like a really weak yell.
Yeah.
So that was Balthios' challenge. Now this is Cyber Dwarfs. He does. Now Rivers is not going to do Sandless because Sandless would be really good, but Sandless is it's a bit risky. So right now the whole gimmick is obviously he throws sand. He throws sand on a path and he has to find his way through it. It's not that hard. The major time save obviously would be just to do the entire path without sand, but that is really difficult because one slight mistake and you can have to restart it all over again.
Yeah, the sprites in that one are really tough.
Yeah, they're really finicky. Next one here is Hoops. He's doing pretty much just a set pattern. You just go through a set corridor path and then you're done. It's really simple. It's just choose your path and then it'll follow through. And then turn these switches on for the specific number for Barkley. Super simple. So that's all the trials for everybody. There is a huge plot point that happens at Barkley's trial, but everyone has a plot point that happens at the trial, but we won't say. Alright, now we just obtained both the Hell B-Ball, and we're about to get the Jam City B-Ball. These are two basketballs, when put together, are incredibly strong. And for whatever reason, the devs said, hey, let's put a really weak enemy at the end, a B-Ball Spider. Like, why? I don't know. He's supposed to act as, like, some warning to Barkley for the power he's about to receive, but yeah, that's about it. So, the Ball Spider gets destroyed. Barkley now has 2 basketballs, and this means he doubles his damage. So, when Rivers said Barkley was weak, he was absolutely right. But now Barkley is incredibly strong, especially stacking Ghost Muscle and Double Team. You do in crazy amounts of damage. So Barkley becomes a huge asset to your team now, the late game.
Welcome to the world map. This is incredible, incredibly slow.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the world map used to be fast. I don't know how I was able to get it to move faster. You used to have been able to go super fast. There might have been a version difference or something, but I'm not sure. But yeah, usually you can move a lot faster than what Rivers is going at. But yeah, as you may notice, more Chrono Trigger reference. There's a lot of references to a lot of different things, but mainly the game takes a lot of its assets and sprites from Chrono Trigger, obviously. Alright, so when you get on the ship, you're at the final chapter of the game. And here, he's got to deal with a little cutscene with Vinceborg. This is pretty sad, because if you're not going to see the dialogue, but you're going to see some touching dialogue with Vinceborg, and you kind of realize his character development.
Oh no, I accidentally pushed the wrong button, and now I'm getting warped to a different dimension. That's a shame.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's crazy. How did that happen?
Good question.
This is a PC game, by the way, guys, and it's free, so if you want to download it, you can.
Yeah, there's no strings attached. This game's free to go.
And if you want to speedrun it, feel free. The leaderboard is pretty empty. So,
Yeah.
oh, we wound up at a dating service somehow. Hey, look.
Uh-oh.
I guess it's time to see if Geerdorf is gonna get a date here. We're just gonna show off a little bit of the story for you guys.
Yeah, we need to explore some of the character development for Cyberdoor. You may notice he doesn't get a lot of it, so we're gonna really help him out and get a girlfriend. That's the whole point now. We've actually changed the objective of the game to getting him a girlfriend. This is the speed run.
You gotta have the apple bottom, according to Geerdorf. That's what it is. So we're gonna take Geerdorf on a date here. Chad, I think if you guys want to chime in with what options you want me to pick.
Yeah, this is super important. Whatever you pick will decide if Geerdorf gets the apple bottom.
It's true. The apple bottom is very important.
Apple bottom is life to basketball players.
So you guys tell me what response you want me to put in here. I'll wait for a good 20 seconds. We've got plenty of time. My estimate's 115. This has been a good run.
Yeah, this is actually an incredible run. I already know what they're gonna pick. Oh no.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh no.
Don't worry,
Oh,
nothing bad will happen here.
I'm gonna flips that apple pie. As you may notice, Miss Lotta is a high-class woman.
Miss Lotta is actually still playing in the WNBA actually. All right, we're getting a lot of 3. Okay.
I'm gonna give you a free mimicry. Oh lord.
Totally free of charge.
Oh.
All right, well we got a 2-path here. I think you just doubt yourself, or you sound pretty bad. Give me 1 or 2, chat. 1 or 2. I mean, you guys' responses are what's keeping Cyberdwarf happy. So, whatever you guys want to do here. You sound pretty bad.
Whoa, the chat is savage. No mercy.
All right, we got 1 or 2 again. I'm sorry I didn't mean that, or I just want to see your keister.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh man, it's
He's wearing 3D glasses, so the apple bottom pops out at him.
the 3D effect.
Okay, I don't think so, or yeah, 1 or 2 again. Chat, 1 or 2 again. We're almost done here, I think. And I appreciate Tyler's big emote. That was great. Oh, looks like almost a lot of a lot of 1s here. I don't think so. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of 1s.
All right, we're gonna get to see Ivory Lotta's dunk now, thanks to you guys. So here we go.
Ooh, this is the best part of the game, honestly. That's what I live for.
Look at this dunk.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. This is every time you do a run 100%, this is what you're gonna see.
All right, we got 3 options, which is amazing, bad, or Granny Smiths. So, what do I do now, chat? A lot of even split between 1 or 3. I'm gonna say 3 won it though. Yeah, I think 3 won it.
Three is one.
You got one? Fine, apple bottom. I'm just gonna say yes here. It was one of the best dunks that Cyberdwarf has ever seen. Alright, so we've done well enough to get Ivory to her favorite spot. And so now we've got 3 options again. Beautiful, Moon, or you took us as mine. I wonder what the chat will pick.
Oh no.
Looks like pretty even splits.
I see a lot of 3. I saw some 2s.
Getting a lot of 3s, a lot of 2s. I'm gonna go with 3. I think 3 won.
Yeah. Took us as mine. Which is good.
It's so good to actually read the dialogue in this game when you've been speedrunning it for a while.
Yeah, no, the dialogue and the writing is so funny. Like, the speedrun doesn't do it any justice. You must quench my tireless thirst for pieces.
Alright, so what do you usually think about? I need to tell you something. Guess what I'm thinking about. 1, 2, or 3, chat. Come on. We're almost through with this, I think. I think we're almost done with this. Alright, we've got 2s, a lot of 1s. I think 1 won. I think 1 is the winner from what I saw earlier.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 1s, then 3s bounced up. It's close. I don't know.
Oh, look at this. You guys. Twitch. You made Cyberdwarf leave empty-handed.
Dang.
Alright, I'm just gonna quit back to the save. Make it easier. So yeah, that's a taste of what the game actually is about.
Yeah.
You guys should try it sometimes. It's great.
In the 100%, you actually do want to do that properly. I won't tell you why, but you do get something out of it if you do the right dialogue options. Unfortunately, going for apple bottoms is a little too aggressive, and she's just not into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to talk about keysters, but not on the first date, guys. Not on the first date.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for reference real quick, we're on the Necron 7, which is a ship in space, and we're coming up against Michael Jordan for the last confrontation. Michael is wanting a 1v1 against Barkley for the ultimate showdown on the court, of course, with some sweet, sweet Georgia Brown. Now, this fight isn't too bad. It's mainly if Jordan gives you a really bad attack, then you can just waste your time. But Barkley in this fight just destroys Jordan with ease. He did 2 good attacks, defy Klepsy and Gunshot, and incredibly weak, so now all Rivers has to do is just do more double team, and Jordan's lost.
I don't point out a lot of the dialogue in this game, but I want to stop on. If you can't stand with the best, jam with the rest.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's really deep. It really makes you think.
There's a lot of dialogue that's pretty meta level, and it makes you wonder, like, could this be our future? Was, Space Jam, the movie, an actual warning for future generations?
Alright, so we come to the end here of this corridor, and we run into Shadow Barkley.
This is the hype fight. Get ready. They play the iconic theme song as well. Now, on a side note, there's 2 ways to end the game. Rivers is obviously going to go for the default option to play the game, and 100% you would choose to die, but let's spoil that. Now for the fight itself. This fight is, obviously, as you can tell, one-wing Barkley. For those who are Final Fantasy VII, you might like this. This fight is actually not that bad. It's relatively easy. The only caveat to it is Shadow Barkley has a insta-kill move. He has a AoE attack that does a lot of damage. Moon regeneration is just like as annoying as Recharge and Glory of B-Ball. So hopefully McRivers doesn't get trolled here with Shadow Barkley. We'll see. I'm gonna shut up now because this music is really good, and the rest of the fight's pretty self-explanatory. If things go bad, then McRivers can just use a chicken fry. So here we go.
Yeah, chicken fry is the way out of any problems you have in this fight for sure. And we bought so many of them in this run for safety that we'll be okay.
On a quick side note, when you're actually doing runs of this game and you hear that song, you just get so hyped, especially when you're on pace. It's amazing. There's no better feeling.
Unfortunately, getting a lot of recharges here, but not the worst thing in the world. I mean, at this point in the game, we have enough to finish, so it's just kind of taking extra time. All right, that's Shadow Barkley down. But one more boss coming.
There's always a cliche. That's not his final form. I don't think chat's ready for this.
Doesn't seem like it, no. Alright, so we got Dinosaur Spit. That's actually kind of bad, but it did target the dwarf, so not too bad. Gonna be using Ghost Muscle and Muscle Zobber to kind of weaken this boss a little bit.
Yeah, this version of T-Rex Barkley, he's the final boss, but he's also the strongest boss in the game in terms of health. Side note, this boss is just Barkley's face with photoshopped a Diablo. If you ever played Primal Fury, you know who that is. But this is the strongest boss in the game, because he does have a lot of strong debuffs. He has a really good heal ability that does damage to you, as well as he has an insta-kill that kills 2 people. So, McRivers does have a lot of chicken fries, so the worst case scenario, you just chicken fry out of the fight. But this fight is just time consuming, mainly because he's so strong. Oh, alright, my bad.
This has been pretty nice so far. Haven't seen anything too trolly yet.
Yeah. Normally in the 100% fights, you would have an item that would, when you give T-Rex Barkley to about his halfway midpoint, or around 55% of his health, you use the item in question and it ends the fight automatically. Well, it doesn't end the fight automatically, but it does most of it for you. Timer is going to be as soon as T-Rex Barkley dies. So as soon as his health bar is gone and the victory's up, that'll be time.
Alright, he's pretty low now. Fortunately, got a little sustenance there by eating on the dwarf. But not too bad. Overall, this run went pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid 80% run. Like, there was a bit of healing trolling and a bit of some fights that went a little too longer than usual, but beyond that, like, he didn't have to save at all, which is good. And that's pretty rare because 90% is brutal. It's the hardest category out of
time. All right, so you guys ever seen a chaos dunk before? Let's show this too.
Here it comes. I gotta listen to this.
I want to talk over this, but words don't really do it justice, so I'm just going to let the game talk too. here we go. All right, that was Barkley, Shut Up, and Jam Gaiden. Thanks so much, chat, for enjoying our little run. Thank you, High Spirits, and everybody for putting this marathon together. I'll be back on Saturday commentating a Final Fantasy IV race. Laz, you want to say anything?
Just a quick note. There is a sequel for this game coming out. It's obviously Barkley Shut Up and Get Jam 2, or Barkley 2. There's no official release date, but at some point they will release it. Keep an eye out for it on the Tales of Games Twitter. They'll usually release information and Kickstarter stuff regarding the game. I can promise you that Barkley 2, the sequel to this amazing game, will be even 10 times better. And I just want to say thank you, Rivers, for having me. I hope you guys enjoy the game. Reminder, you can get this at tailsofgames.com. It's absolutely free. It's updated version. Should work on everything. I'm not sure if it works on Windows 10. It probably does. Worst case scenario. You can download previous versions. But again, thank you for having me, Rivers, and amazing run.
Thanks for coming by, Laz. It was a lot of fun. All right, turn this over to High Spirits. Thanks, guys.
Chaos Dunk! Thank you very much, Riversmccown with Barkley, Shut Up, and Jam Gaiden. Next up,